The one last little bit of functionality we don't yet have working is loading our album art. It's cool that we're able to add things to our list, but clearly the music list and the details page don't really look great without their album art. So let's fix that problem. So far we've been using the HTTP GET_REQUEST class to handle JSON responses. So how are we going to handle getting an album image? Requesting an image is really no different than requesting JSON. Ultimately, the server is just responding with an array of bytes. Let's take a look at how we can implement this. In the fetch artwork for album completion block method, I'll begin by creating an NS URL. Now we don't need to define a format string for this URL as the album already contains what we need. I'll define a success block. I'll create an HTTP GET request instance, passing in the URL, the success block, and I'll just pass null for the failure block. And then finally call start request on that request instance. How are we going to implement this success block? Well, it turns out to be just a one-liner, actually. In this case, our response data will be our album artwork data, and we can just use UI_image with data method to create a new UI image and pass that back in the completion block. So let's get this hooked into our view controller. I'll switch over to the album details view controller. Let me first import our music store service. And then currently where we're setting the album image, let me replace that. We're first going to test to see if the album currently has an album image. If it does, we'll simply set it as we were before. But if it's empty, we'll create an instance of our music store service, call fetch artwork for album, passing in the album, and then the completion block. We'll set the result as the album's album image, and also set the state of our album image view so the user can see that on screen. All right, let's try that out and see how that works. So let me delete these existing records. And there we go. We have beautiful album art in our app. How about when we save it to the list? And that looks good as well. Search for another album. Man, that is fun. Now that I've got album artwork, I could sit here and add albums all day. So congratulate yourself. We now have a completed service implementation, and all of the core functionality is working. We've seen how creating that simple HTTP GET_REQUEST class really saved us a lot of time. Go ahead and build up your personal wish list of albums, and I'll see you in the next lesson.